started, well, I guess it probably started in 2003. I left, shall we say, not so sunny Scotland, and arrived on the shores of Dubai to start a career as cabin crew, which I absolutely loved. I was young, it was exciting, but within sort of 2 years, I'd really discovered that I'd found my passion, and that was really personal shopping and styling and helping people when it came to their sort of personal brand and how they portrayed themselves. So I hung up my wings at 24 and decided to launch the Middle East's first personal shopping and styling agency. And yeah, it's been quite a journey along the way. I've worked with clients from all walks of life. So I think something that, you know, now you look back and what I say to a lot of those that I mentor, you know, as a person, you keep evolving and your business keeps evolving. And I very much see that in the clients that I've worked with, the type of clientele, the budgets my clients have. And I really do believe that, you know, in the beginning, I was working with clients that had really small budgets and I was learning and building my knowledge. And then, you know, towards the end, I was working with, you know, celebrities and royalty and, you know, flying all over the world. And, you know, it really just then comes with the wealth of experience and knowledge that you build up. And throughout sort of those 15 years, I've learned so much about not just the style world, but also the business world, because, you know, I really do believe that without business knowledge, you could be the best stylist, the best fashion designer, the best in whatever it is you do. But if no one knows about you, then, you know, give up, because people have to know about you to know your talent, to then understand the value in you. So I think that's a really important aspect. I've invested heavily in my own journey when it comes to learning, personal development, business courses, seminars, books. Yeah, it's insane. So this sort of natural progression was, you know, within the last sort of 3 or 4 years, I've been mentoring the next generation of fashion stylists with their personal brand and their helping them develop their business knowledge, really, and how they can promote themselves, you know, not once they're a stylist, while they're building up the experience, because it's exactly what I did. And it's been, you know, amazing journey, and I successfully sold my styling agency in December just gone there. So that was a big bucket list tick that, you know, I always wanted to create something and sell it, because to me that was what I saw as business success. So yeah, that's in a nutshell a very watered down version.
Thank you very much, Kelly, for that. So welcome to this wonderful session, Kelly, and I would like to start off with a set of questions. And before I start off, I just want to tell all our students that Kelly is actually also a very powerful businesswoman. And she understands business from the very bottom up. And keeping all that in mind, all my questions today are going to be from the perspective of creating a business and maybe helping out all the stylists and all the PG and the postgraduate and the fashion management students understand the functions of business a little bit better. So my first question to you is, what is your understanding of business, Kelly? And what does business or the activity of business mean to you as a human being?
I thought it was a really interesting question, actually, and no one's ever asked me that before. But what came to me sort of instinctively was that business is a transaction. Okay, so it's a transaction between two people, primarily providing a service and then being paid for it. Because if you're not being paid for it, then it's a hobby and it's not a business.
Oh, wow. Sorry, there was some technical error going on over there. Thank you. Gauri, can you take over the hosting capabilities, please? Thank you so much for that. Sorry about that. So, Kelly, do you have a mission or a vision for yourself? Is it important to write one for oneself when creating a personal brand?
Loved this question, because I very much have a vision. So every 4 to 6 months, I write what is called a desire statement. And that desire statement clearly lays out what my goals are, what my intentions are for the coming 6 months. Now, what that desire statement though states is what has already happened. So I'm very clear in terms of what I've achieved, but they haven't happened yet, but I know what I want to achieve. So absolutely have a vision from the business perspective, the people that I want to impact, the financial capabilities, all of that is very much written down, because if it's here, then it's just a wish. If it's written down, there's a higher probability that it's going to happen.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much, Kelly. I mean, we've been just telling the students also the same thing, that to have a direction is extremely important. Otherwise, you're just a directionless floating vector in the middle of nowhere. So having a direction is very important. Thank you for putting that forward. My next question to you is, could you tell us 5 things that you would like to tell a stylist or a fashion professional who is just starting off their professional journey right now?
Yeah, I mean, I wrote these down just so I remembered. So first of all, believe in yourself. So, in the same sense, it's believe in what you do. And I think a lot of people believe in themselves in the beginning, and then they look at other people that are doing what they're doing, which comparison is the thief of joy. And then they lose their confidence and they go, I can't do it. So it's maintaining that belief in yourself for sure that you can do it and get through it. Then I would say make sure you're solving a problem, because if you're not solving a problem, then you don't have a viable business model. So make sure you're solving a problem. It doesn't matter if it's small. It's got to be a problem of some description to be able to help your audience, and that way be able to direct your marketing, because every time you can be the solution to the problem. And then I would say you need to be consistent. And this is, again, something I see with a lot of sort of startups in any, niche, is that they start because they're excited. And then usually around month 3, where the novelty wears off, they're like, it comes down a bit. And then they're like, this is actually way harder than what I thought it was going to be. Yep, welcome to the real world. And then it's pick it back up. And there's a great meme out there that's like this roller coaster of an entrepreneur or anyone that's in business. And it's very much the reality. And don't think 15, 20 years it gets any easier. The roller coasters are still there. So absolutely. And then I would also say, get experience. So when you're just starting out, I think a lot of people fuss around on things that aren't really relevant. So they might spend time beautifying their business cards or making a fabulous website. And then this goes back to, if no one knows about you, or, then it doesn't matter. So, I very much believe that you need to have the brand collaterals there. But like I mentored one stylist with the business, and I said, how's it been going on? How long have you been in business? And she said to me, I've been in business a year. And I was like, fabulous. And how many clients have you styled? And she was like, 1. I said, what have you been doing for a year? She was like, working on my website. I was like, no. So yes, brand collateral is really important, but getting clients is more important, because back to your earlier question about business being a transaction, that's what I believe business is, a transaction of offering value and being paid for it. And if you're not being paid for it in the first year, great, build the experience up. But ultimately, our goal is to be paid for it.
Brilliant. I think that's brilliant advice to all our youngsters who are here in this room. I think we've got close to 100 plus students today. And I think we've got students from our Dubai campus, we've got students from our Mumbai campus, and we've also got students from our Pune campus. So thank you very much for that. My next question to you is somewhat of a difficult one. There is a difference between creating a viable business and what you're doing right now in terms of creative. People think that when they're really creative, they can put it up online. Some of them say, a lot of people will come and say, your work looks beautiful. But being a viable business, that means there is an input and there's an output, and the output is more than the input. What is the one thing that you would advise to these people who want to start a viable business?
Well, I often, the one thing, because there's so many aspects of that it could be. I guess the one thing is knowing that there is a market there, because a lot of people start things, and then they don't actually know that there's a viable business here. So, before we started this, just to give you a real life example, is the I felt that there was a gap in the market to launch a online program that was helping businesses, or not helping businesses, sorry, helping individuals brand themselves. So regardless of whether they're a designer, they're a stylist, they're a digital expert, there is that space to brand yourself called Brand You. And I was like, okay, is there a market there? So what I did was I did a couple of webinars and I sold the program before I had even started it. So then I'm like, okay, there's a viable business in it. People want to pay for it. So I knew that there was money in it somewhere. So then I'm like, okay, I've got X amount of people on it. I've charged this amount. It's brought in this much revenue. I better create the content now. Whereas what I see a lot of people do, and which what I did maybe when I created my first online course, was I just created it because I thought there was a market for it. So make sure there's a market. So sell it before it's ready. Sell your designs before they're even ready. So that would be my one piece of advice.
Thank you very much. I think that focus on the fact that making it viable and selling and making money, or seeing the business inside it, I think that's quite important. My next question to you would be, how important is networking when building a successful business? Do you have any tips for our students?
Well, I think there's two aspects from that. So there's networking on and offline. So at the moment, we're very much in this online capacity. A mistake that I really see people do is they don't have a clear call to action. So because they don't have a clear call to action when they interact with someone online, then I believe because if you were in person, you'd have a conversation, you'd exchange cards, that would be your call to action, and you would grow from that perspective. So I think very much it's important now more than ever, certainly in the online space, because let's face it, we can't be outside socializing, using platforms like LinkedIn, using platforms like Instagram, but not from the vanity perspective, from the relationship perspective. What value can you bring? How can you help? Who do you genuinely want to connect with? Because this is where I see the shift massively going in the business sense. Is it's about authenticity, it's about value, it's about realness, and this is what people want to see in your business. So hugely networking, but the real you.
I think that is pretty important too. I mean, as these youngsters are starting off, creating that networks, creating the connections between themselves, first of all. I mean, some of them, they're going to go forward and they're going to start their own businesses, and that network is equally important. So their alumni network coming in from school, I think that's also pretty important.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Never too young to start.
And I think one of my last questions for you from my side, and I think after that we can open it up to all the students. And I'm not going to ask any COVID related questions, because I think we've been doing too many rounds of those. What's going to happen after COVID? What's going to happen right now? I think no one really knows the answers to those. So I'm not going to ask you those questions. I'm just going to ask a very important questions, that 3 things that one must do to create an effective digital strategy to market oneself.
Well, I think first up, understand that hope is not a strategy. So I think a lot of people post on social media and hope that the picture's going to do well. So hope is not a strategy. The tip is you need to plan effectively, and that requires taking some time out and being really clear as to planning and understanding what your goals are, because you need to have an end goal. So planning, first of all, executing consistency for sure, especially in the digital world. Again, it's at the moment, because that's what people are looking for. And, people are, a lot of people they're only online at the moment. Everyone's online. My posts are doing better because more people are turning up to webinars just because they're at home, So execute that consistently. So a lot of people are saying now, oh, well, there's no point in starting a business now, and there's no point in doing this, and I'm never going to get, money and, this and that right now. Maybe, I don't know. I can't control that. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. But if you forget about the clients that you've built up, when it actually comes to the time of it being, people maybe have a bit more of a disposable income, or they're not as scared about what they're going to spend on, you're still in their minds because you've been consistent. And then I think the third tip would be, don't sit back and wait. I think a lot of people are waiting for the perfect time, waiting for this to be over, just waiting. There is no perfect time. We didn't know this was happening. It is, what are we going to do about it? We've just got to keep on getting up every day and taking action, and taking action that's actually going to lead to the very first step, which is planning what's our goal. And putting this in a drawer so you can focus on what it is that you're actually doing. Even if it's a way, and I've got mine out purely because I actually want to take a business. When one of the students come in and ask a question, I'm going to do a picture. But it's something that I've done way more since I've been more consistently working at home, is putting it in the drawer right down here so that it's out of sight and I can focus on what I'm doing. Because like, everyone's around, everyone can talk to you right now. So don't get distracted with the bigger goals.
I think that's fantastic advice. I think especially the last part, something that I also do, I keep comparing my digital well-being scores. How much time am I spending on different things? And consistently, I've been pushing the time down on Instagram and other social media websites, and pushing it up into areas like email and WhatsApp, where the actual work really happens. Of course, it's important for us to do it. But thank you very much, Kelly. I think that was quite an insightful understanding into starting a business and what a business with regards to styling is. Because most of the times when people come on board, they talk about styling. Yes, there is a creative element to it. Yes, there is a part that we all need to learn about the work. But then there is the part of viable business. Thank you very much for that. And I think we can open up the floor to all our students at this point of time to ask some questions. I think some of them are also typing into chats. So you can actually see the chats also where the questions are coming in. So guys, you are open. You can just type in your chats right now to ask questions to Kelly. Don't lose this opportunity at all. Make sure that you can completely ask her every question that you have in your heart.
So, what we can do is maybe have a few students come live as well. Harleen, would you like to come live and ask your question directly?
Yeah, that would be lovely.
Harleen, hi. Please come live.
Hello.
Hi, Harleen.
Put on your camera.
Put on your camera.
It's
yes,
actually not working, ma'am, for some reason.
No. Okay, let's go for it.
Right. All right. So my question, ma'am, is as you mentioned earlier, basically, you said that you should sell your designs before they're even ready. Mm-hmm. How would you suggest one could do that?
Oh, that is $1 million question. I guess you're going to think about the creativity aspect. So can you sell something that's on a mannequin pinned? Could you do something like that? Could you sell your designs? So could you get someone to draw your designs and take a picture of that and sell it that way? I mean, of course, you've got to, buy the hard thing is with pieces, then it is a case of, you've actually got to buy the fabric. So the example I gave was creating something where I didn't actually need to buy something in advance. It was more a time consuming thing. So I would say, think about other aspects that are maybe, instead of more expensive pieces like dresses, could you start with accessories and start to build up your sort of your database and your clientele that way? Bear in mind, maybe people don't have the investment right now to invest maybe in a new designer that's super top end. So what can you do to develop this database? People can see your style, see your vibe, but also, buy into you and buy local. So I would think about the smaller price tag right now to build up. It's less of an expense for you, or to do something where you can say, hey, I can create this before I make it type thing. I don't know. That's on the spot, but it was a great question.
Thank you.
Yes. I think Davina can go next.
I was going to do a picture. I'll do the next one that comes in.
Davina, you want to go next?
Yes. Hi, Kelly. I'm Davina Chabra.
Hi. I'm going to do a picture now, so I'm going to share it. Smile.
Thank you.
Okay, hang on. It's got that's it. Perfect.
Am I audible?
Yeah, it's good. No, it's just picture.
Oh, thank you. So my question to you is that they always say that it's important for you to work under someone, do a particular job to master your skill, and then eventually build your own startup and have something of your own. I'm really curious to know what your opinion is. Do you believe in something like this, or do you believe that you actually can start something of your own with having just the knowledge and imparting that and not working under someone?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think you can. That was the route that I did, but that was not because, that was primarily because there wasn't anyone to work under, because I did it 15, 16 years ago. So I didn't have that luxury. So I would say don't have that as a limiting belief about your success. But do I think it's beneficial? Absolutely. Because if you look at some of the top stylists, how then they became top stylists was they worked under someone else, they got a newbie stylist that came in, and it led to something like that. So yeah, don't let it put you off. Yes, by all means, but it can help you build your experience.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Can we have Shrestha up next? Shrestha, can you hear us? Okay, no worries. We could move to Alia then.
I've seen Alia's question.
Alia, you want to go and ask the question quickly to?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Alia here.
Hi,
Sorry,
Alia.
I'm sorry, but my camera's really okay. Yeah, it's working now. Just a second, sorry. Hi. Actually, I wanted to ask you that how can we be different from other stylists out there, because there are so many and most of them have like the same kind of like how they network, like how can you go about it, like how
So I
can
think
you get out there?
your first question was, how do you stand out? Okay. So the idea is you have to sit down and answer that question. I can't answer how you can stand out because I don't know you. So you've got to really understand, what is your USP? What is your unique selling point? What makes you different? Because we're all born different. We've all got a skill that's different from someone else. You need to find out what that is and showcase that. So that's going a bit more internal. And if you don't know, maybe ask some of the people that you've styled that are friends and family. You know, what makes me stand out? Why do you why did you like shopping with me, or why did you buy my designs, or whatever. So that comes down to you. I wish I could answer that, but you've got to find your USP.
All right, fine. Thank you.
All right.
Great. So I think Sahil Lodha has a question to ask as well. Sahil, go for it.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
I hope, thanks for your masterclass. I work as a photographer sometimes, and I tend to think that sometimes the best creative works come not because you're making it for money, but because you really want to create something amazing. So there's a really interesting dichotomy there where you have to also balance your business side, but also keep doing good work. So my question is that if you're working, I work with stylists a lot, and sometimes I always tend to think, should I pay them or should I not? For commercial jobs, I can easily take up the budgets and pay them. But if it's an editorial shoot, would you still recommend that the stylists be only taking paid shoots, even if it's an editorial shoots, or would you recommend them to do work even if there's no pay in editorials? Because inevitably editorials never get you money. It's only for your portfolios a lot of the times. So can you elaborate a little bit on that? Thanks.
Yeah, and again, that's personal choice, because there are a lot of editorial stylists that earn a living. So there are stylists that are being paid that are working editorial. I think, if I'm really honest, I understand that editorial is more competitive because everyone wants to do editorial. So I get that. No, not everyone wants to be doing an advert for Kellogg's or Special K when, let's face it, it's not really styling. You're having to go and buy a blue t-shirt or a red dress or something like that. So I understand that, but there's got to be that balance, and that balance can be, your goal is once a month I do a creative shoot to build up my knowledge, but the rest of the time I only do paid work. You've got to set the boundaries, because at the end of the day you can say yes to everything, but it's got to be a business transaction at the end of the day. And if people just keep doing stuff for free, then it's just going to dilute the industry, because we need to earn money. You know, it's natural. So I hope that helps. Do the balance, but you decide. Some people want to do more creative and they don't care about the money. Not everyone's about wants that. So you've got to find on, if I've made this month this much, then I'll just do creative stuff.
Right. Thanks.
All right. I've got time for one more.
I think,
Like to ask one question. Hi, Anna here.
yes, go for it.
Hi, Kelly. So I wanted to ask that while you hire interns, like, or someone, like, what do you expect from an intern? Like, what kind of portfolio, what kind of work do you expect while hiring someone?
Okay, so I hired an intern. I've hired a couple of interns actually. I think above and beyond everything, for me, hiring an intern is someone who shows initiative. Okay, I think that is by far the most important thing, because what you don't want to be, and often interns are, instead of helping, they're a burden. It's like, I need to give them something to do, or, you know, I'll just give them this to do. And I think number one thing is, before you even get that job, is by showing initiative. You know, I read, I think this is a great thing to end on as well. I read recently about this rapper who was looking for an intern, and he had loads of applications, and one applicant created, so loads of people sent in CVs and resume, and this one person sent his website, and the website was just basically designed as an intern. These are the things, this is what you can find out about me, this is how I can help you. Like, it was like one page. He got the job, and he then went on a tour for the year with the rapper. So that to me really showcases you taking initiative, showing that you're doing something different, because at interns you're going to be expected to, you're not going to be styling if you're a stylist, or if you're a designer, you're not going to be designing. So what can you do to make that person's life that you're interning for easier, and then you will get more and more responsibility to learn how the full overview of the operations go. Does that help?
Yes, yes, it is.
Awesome. Wait, stay there. Let's do a last picture. I've taken off the timer. The reason it took so blooming long is because I was on the timer. Smile.
This may also be a good opportunity for those who are shy to put on their camera.
Yay.
Go for it, guys.
Go ahead, guys, everybody.
I've got the gallery view. Oh no, wait a minute. Here, there's loads of you. Hi everyone. I've just found the, that's a brilliant. I've just see all your faces. That is so good. Love it, love it, love it. Oh, this is the first time I've ever done one of these. I always do webinars and I'm never looking at anyone. So I just chat away. So
there are 160 of us today.
No way. That's amazing. Love it. Well, listen, I'm going to share that on Instagram, so I'll do my best. If you have any other questions, reach out or tell the team, and
we'll get back to you. We'll get back to you, Kelly. I'm sure they have questions, and we definitely feel a little bad that you are leaving us within 30 minutes. But next time around, we need more time. This is not done. This is not fair.
The problem is I could talk forever and share all my years' experience. So yeah, I think it's a good thing to leave on a high.
Yes. Well, it is fantastic, Kelly. Thank you very much for being a part of this.